Hi everyone, my name is Laisun Keane. I am the owner of Laisun Keane LLC, an art gallery based in Lexington, Massachusetts. My upcoming exhibition is of a Native American artist, Raven Halfmoon, and the exhibition is titled Rumination in Isolation. The exhibition is actually going to be donating 10% of total sales to an organization, the Auntie Project, based in Norman, Oklahoma. And I have with me the president of the Auntie Project, Miss Amanda Cobb Greetham.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. If you don't mind, I'd like to take a minute to introduce myself in Chickasaw, my native language.
Oh, good.
So, Chokma, so Hostrafowat Amanda Cobb Greetham, Chikasha Saya. And what I just said was, hello, my name is Amanda Cobb Greetham, Chikasha Saya. I am a Chickasaw citizen from here in southern Oklahoma. And I'm the president of the Auntie Project, Native Women of Service. We are a nonprofit. We're about a year old. And we organized, in fact, just last June. So we're not quite a year old yet. But just to tell you a little bit about us, our founders are a group of Native women, mostly from here in Norman, Oklahoma, but also from Oklahoma City and some of the surrounding areas. And we started talking last summer. We knew each other from various settings in the Norman Native community, but we really started talking last summer when we found out that Fort Sill, Oklahoma was going to be used as a detention center for immigrant children. And we all really responded to that very deeply because Fort Sill has been used as a boarding school for Native Americans. Many of our family members were taken away from their families and sent to that school. And it was also used as a prison for Native Americans. And many of our ancestors, in fact, were there. And so we really felt this. And what we felt was that if once again, these Indigenous migrant children were going to be separated from their families in this way, that we couldn't do anything about the policy of that. But wouldn't it be nice if they had some aunties around to help them out? Yep. And to be there? And in Native American cultures, and in many cultures worldwide, the auntie plays a really special role. And that is someone in your community who, whether you're related by blood or not, is always there for the kids in the community, who shows up, who has food and love and nourishment and
cooking, yeah.
Yes, and whatever's needed. And so these women, we're the type that you just go into each other's houses and you start helping, right? And they're always there to help when somebody is having a bake sale or cleaning out someone's house or whatever, or oh hey, we can keep your kids, whatever needs to be done.
Yeah.
And so anyway, and we thought, we do want to figure out a way to help with that. However, as it turned out, Fort Sill was not used for this. But what we did was we were like, we still want to help. And then we thought, it would be the only thing that we want to help with. This is going to be the first thing that we want to help with. And we met here in my home on a Tuesday night. And by Friday, we were a certified nonprofit 501c3 with the account opened and ready for business. And we partnered with the Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma and set up a special account with them so that any money that we raised would be sent directly to food centers at the El Paso, Mexico border.
Is it 100%? I just want to
100%.
clarify. Really?
We are an all volunteer organization. We streamline all administrative costs, and we do not put those on anybody else. So whatever is donated, whatever generosity anybody has, we get it directly to the source. So that was our first project. And since then, during the pandemic, we also we had a special initiative for Sovereign Community School. That's a Native American charter school in Oklahoma City. And so many Oklahoma families were really hit hard by the economic downturn in the state during the pandemic. And in fact, Native Americans in the state of Oklahoma face a disproportionate amount of health disparities and economic disparities. And so what we did was to, again, work with Regional Food Bank of Oklahoma, set up an account for Sovereign Community School, and any donations, any funding that we were able to generate has gone to emergency food boxes for families from that school. And those boxes come once a week, and they will continue as long as we are able. And as well, if school resumes in the fall, then whatever funding we have with the Regional Food Bank will then go to set up a food pantry at the school. So we won't have to deliver the boxes, they'll be right there at the school when needed. And then our third project, and so you can see we've had projects that are international, project with the immigration issue, projects that are right here in our own community in Oklahoma. And then our third initiative has been our Navajo Nation COVID-19 Family Relief Initiative. And that is the initiative that we are working on right now. And we have a good friend. She's an auntie herself, Doreen McPaul, from the Navajo Nation. She is the Navajo Nation Attorney General. And Navajo Nation has just been devastated by this epidemic. And oh my gosh, and we were talking and she was telling me that there are entire families where every single member has the virus. Just imagine how we all feel when we have even the flu, or you know how terrible you feel and you can hardly drag yourself to do anything. Well, imagine if every person in your family is that way, and your friends and neighbors and family and aunties can't really come over to help, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So what we were thinking was, is there anything that we can do? And we're small and we can do very little, but we can try. And so we partnered with the Navajo Nation, the Navajo Nation's own government. They have a Department of Family Services who knows where the families are who need the most immediate relief and help. And so we are again striking out to fundraise, and 100% of whatever we raise will be sent to the Navajo Nation's Department of Family Services. And we're going to be able to send our first check this week for $10,000. And I know we started fundraising a week ago and we've raised $10,000. And I know to some people that might not sound very much, but we're a dollar by dollar organization. And most of our donations are $20 or under, you know. And so what that shows is that people care and that there's kindness out there, and that if people could give hugs, they would. But if you can't, then some kind of help. But you know what we can give is tea spirit, right?
Yes.
And if this funding can be used in any way to provide some relief for those families, then we want to try to do that. Our board members, like to tell you, we're very much a group. It's awkward for me to be here by myself because of, you know, that's what we have to do right now. But so we're a certified nonprofit. Our board members are, there's 15 of us. We represent over a dozen tribal heritages in Oklahoma, from Shawnee, absentee Shawnee, Kickapoo, Comanche, Kiowa, Choctaw, Cherokee, Creek, Seminole, Chickasaw. We've all different tribes here in Oklahoma as a crossroads of Indian country. And we come from all different backgrounds and experiences. And what we share and have in common is that we want to be of service. So the mission of our organization is specifically to be of service to Native American and Indigenous kids in need. And that's our whole mission. That's it. So that we can be able to respond to whatever's happening in our community or others as we're able.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that is great. I'm actually, I'm now understanding more the depth of the services that you guys provide. And I'm astounded. I'm so touched. So I'm so glad to be able to then help to contribute towards your fund.
Oh, we are thrilled that you are doing this and so grateful. And that Raven Halfmoon selected us really
Yes.
means a lot to us.
Yes.
Many of us knew Raven when she was still in high school, and her mother and her aunt,
Yes.
Raven's mother and her aunt,
Yes.
we know well in our community, and they're such a kind family. So I shouldn't even be surprised that Raven is doing this, because this is just the sort of thing that her family would do. But
she actually nominated you, your organization, because there's so many of them to give money to.
That is very, very, very generous and very kind of her. And like I said, we're very small and we don't have a lot of things other organizations have. But you know what that means? We also don't have overhead and administrative costs.
That's right.
We have heart. We are all volunteer, and we can make sure that your donation and your generosity gets where it needs to be.
Okay. So now, if it on your website too, right?
Absolutely. Our Facebook page and our website all have means of donating. And for this whole month, we are expressly, all of our donations will go to the Navajo Nation COVID-19 Family Relief Initiative.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I think, I think that's all we need to know. What you've done and what you're doing, it's amazing and just so selfless. And then it's doing a lot of good to the community that is affected by COVID-19. And we know that Indigenous and colored population get affected by pandemics every time.
And that's going back to the boarding school, Fort Sill, immigration issues we were talking about. Native Americans have a long history of being devastated by catastrophic events like epidemics and being disproportionately impacted by such. And our general feeling is that we are not tied to any political party, any particular tribal nation, any church, any educational institution, because those are all things that the world has to sort out. A child in need, a family in need, that's what we want to focus on. That's all we can do. Right.
That's right. They are defenseless as well.
Yes, and that is something that everybody can agree upon, to be a part of. That a child in need is a child in need. And so that is our focus. And we especially want to really point out that with this long history of epidemics and infectious disease in Native American communities, the perseverance and the resilience of all of the Native nations of the United States, and particularly the Navajo Nation. Navajo Nation, you'll see if you look around at some of their images, and I'll try to send you one, children and families holding up signs that say, "I survived, Navajo Nation, resilience, we're still here." And that is part of the spirit of the Auntie project and part of the spirit of this initiative. You help where you can, so that Native American cultures, our nations, our families can continue,
can survive,
as they always have.
That's right.
And that's part of our message as well. And we know, I say, we're small and we do what we can, but there's good aunties out there all over the world, and we hope that they feel like, hey, I'm going to get together with some women in our community and let's, do what we can. The auntie spirit, it's everywhere.
Yay. That's great. Don't you think that it's interesting that I'm a woman, you are, and then Raven as well, the artist? So I think in a way we are also joining hands, sisters.
Yes, absolutely. Women's work. Yeah.
That's right.
And I really believe that.
Okay, wonderful. Now, the opening reception actually is going to be done virtually, so it's via Zoom as well. So this Thursday, May 21st, 5 o'clock Eastern time, which is 4 o'clock Oklahoma time. Okay. So you and your directors will be joining us, right?
Yes, we will.
All right. Thank you so much, Amanda. I think this is perfect. You explain so well everything that you guys do, and I feel so touched. that you are doing this, and what you do is so selfless, you know, and
No, it's not about us. It's about
altruistic.
everybody. If there's some way that you can do what you can, then do what you can.
Yeah. Great, and I'm so glad that you have time to talk to me today. And okay, all right, thank you.
Thank
Bye bye
you.
now.
Bye.